Ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers draft class is officially in the books for 2025. And in this video, what I wanted to do is kind of break down day 3, right? Jack Sawyer, Yaya Black, Will Howard, Carson Bruner. I want to show you why these guys are such good fits for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. But in a couple of days, I'm going to give a full draft analysis. So if you want that part 2 to come out, I need you guys to spam P2 in the comment section down below. Give me a letter grade for this class. Who is your favorite pick? Who is your least favorite pick and why? And with that being said, let's dive into the video. Stay tuned for part 2 because trust me, we're going to have film analysis and it's going to be amazing. It'll come out soon. Let's dive in. And here we go. The Pittsburgh Steelers have just drafted their quarterback. Now, a lot of people thought, oh, Shedeur Sanders at 21. He doesn't go to the 5th round. They probably still could have taken him if they really wanted him in the 4th or 5th round. However, they take Will Howard, quarterback coming off winning the national championship. And in this video, we're going to break down pretty much everything you need to know. He's from Pennsylvania. That's a good sign, right? But we're going to break it down. Before we dive into the video, I want you to comment down below how you feel about this being the potential starter quarterback. Obviously, looks like Aaron Rodgers will be a Steeler. At least, in my opinion, I think so. What do you guys think? Before we dive into the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And comment down below P2 if you want more of these Steelers updates. With that being said, let's just quickly go over Will Howard. So he was projected to go in the 4th or 5th round, according to NFL.com. They compare him to Blake Bortles a little bit. Not bad. I mean, Blake Bortles was a high draft pick. Now, Howard brings great size, right? We said it, 6'4", 236 pounds, coming off the national championship win. He also has a lot of toughness, right? He's a guy that is willing to escape the pocket and make plays happen with his legs. This is something that's important to me. He has showed improvement over the last 3 seasons, which tells me one thing. He wants to be coached, and he wants to be better, and he wants to be the best possible player he can be. Okay, that always is the best sign in a player right there. He is more of a vessel of the play caller than a playmaking talent. He typically reads half of the field and makes reasonable decisions with the field. So, with the football, I want quarterbacks that go through what we call a full field read. Okay, if you don't go through a full field read, you need to develop that. Okay, so if he goes through half the field read, we need to improve on that. Okay, but he has good mechanics and good consistent accuracy. Now, I believe reads half the field is a reason he's probably going in the 6th round. He doesn't hold defenders at bay with his eyes. You need to do that. Okay, you got to be able to manipulate defenders using your eyes in the NFL. If you don't, you're going to throw a lot of picks. Lacks the arm strength to beat tight man coverage on the 2nd and 3rd level throws. I kind of disagree with the 2nd level. 3rd level, deep passes, okay. I could see that. He showed good poise in 2024 to beat the blitz through the air and always been able to escape pressure. This is something I like. Escaping pressure and making plays with his legs, that is a plus, especially in today's NFL. Howard is big, tough, and accurate, but benefited from superior talent at skill positions. Jeremiah Smith, at Ohio State, Cardinal Tate, Emeka Buka. Unless he proves he can play chess against NFL defenses, which essentially reading or manipulating defenses, I think you need to be able to do. He might not have enough in the toolbox to become more than an average backup. I disagree. I think he can become more of an average backup, but again, he's going to need to work on his game. I like the player. I need to see more. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the family. Welcome to the Steelers, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers back on the clock here in the 4th round. Just probably got one of the biggest steals, and there's been a lot of them in this year's NFL draft, but Jack Sawyer falling all the way down to the 4th round is kind of unbelievable. And when you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their ability to get to the quarterback, this is another guy that adds the same type of mentality out of Ohio State. Jack Sawyer, welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 6'4", 260 pounds, 31 3/4 inch arms. This guy is a unit and will eventually be a plus starter in the NFL. But again, to get him in the 4th round is completely unrealistic. I don't know how they just did that, but they did. Now, he was projected to go in rounds 2 or 3, and the Pittsburgh Steelers do get him here in the 4th round. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Jack Sawyer and what he adds to this football team going into 2025. Now, before we dive into the video, do me a big time favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and we got you guys covered throughout the entirety of the draft process. Lastly, comment down below P2 if you want more of these updates throughout every single draft pick. And you know what, let's just dive right into the video. So first thing you're gonna notice about Jack Sawyer, he's got a really good frame, even front defensive end who can kind of play in a bunch of different spots here for this football team going into next season. Now, his game is more built on power outside of not speed. So when you talk about his ability to disrupt a tackle or disrupt a guard, his ability to drive through them and back them up into the front side of the quarterback, that's what you love about him. Now, he really is good in run defense. He lacks the quick win first step, but again, it's the power that makes him such a good defender. And when you look at this defense over here, they added Derek Harmon, right? You have Keanu Benton and Cam Hayward up front. This guy can slot into a bunch of different roles with his size. Now, again, you go back, he's 6'4", 260 pounds, kind of slots in more as an edge rusher, like the TJ Watt, Nick Herbig type, but can also play on the defensive line if he can add a little bit more weight. But overall, I am pumped up about this addition because it's about value, and getting a guy in the 4th round that, you know, is just this good of an athlete and this good of a player, man, you just have to be ecstatic about what he could potentially bring to this football team with that relentless motor and his ability to just clean up the run and just dominate tackles off the edge. I love his ability. You can read over his strengths and pause it if you want here, but let me know what you guys think. All right, here we go. The Pittsburgh Steelers back on the clock here in the late fifth round. They have added a guy in Yaya Black, or a defensive tackle, excuse me, out of Iowa. And you know what's funny about this addition is I feel like every mock draft that I've seen, this is a guy that the Pittsburgh Steelers were always mocked to get. And you guys are probably already familiar with his game, but just in case you aren't, I'm going to make sure you guys are fully, you know, understanding what this guy is going to add to the team going into next season. Now, right away, when you look at what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done, they've added Jack Sawyer, an edge rusher that probably is going to be in the Alex Highsmith type of role. I agree with this a lot. And then you also add Derek Harmon in the 1st round as well. Now, early on, they drafted Caleb Johnson in the 3rd round for the offense, but now come back in the 5th with another defensive player, defensive tackle, and Yaya Black. But he is 6'6", 336 pounds, and will be, you know, a true interior defensive lineman here for the Steelers. Now, the way he fits onto this football team is right here. Keanu Benton. You see how Keanu Benton is listed as a nose tackle? He's lined up a lot in that zero technique type of role where he lines up right across from that center. You also have Montravius Adams as well, and they brought in some other guys, Daniel Quilele as well from New England. But this is a guy that is a massive high-end nose tackle that can plug the run. Okay, when you look at the Steelers last season, they ranked number 10 in the NFL in stopping the run, right? 4.3 yards allowed per carry. Not bad at all. 16th in terms of rushing touchdowns allowed per game. We want to see that number go down a little bit. They also ranked 21st in terms of sack percentage. Yaya Black is a guy that fits right into the interior of this defensive line and can be a gap, right? Can play the A-gaps and can just dominate, right? You can separate and neutralize the block to messy the gap and kind of disrupt open gaps for the running backs on the opposing team. When his pad level is right, he's one of the best one-on-one players that I've seen as well, at least on the interior. Black lacks snap quickness and range, but that's okay because he makes up with it because of his size, right? His ability to eat a lot of space. The size and traits will be coveted, but Black lacks rush and is a little inconsistent at controlling the point of attack. He might have a ceiling as a potential big rotational player, but again, I like the addition to the interior of this defensive line behind Keanu Benton and Montravius Adams. You need depth, and depth is what they got here with Yaya Black. I think he fits in perfectly. All right, here we go. 7th round pick, Pittsburgh Steelers back on the clock and are getting an underrated player. Carson Bruner of Washington, a linebacker, 6'1", 227 pounds, and athletic freak. I mean, according to, the combine results, this is a guy that was a top 10 athletic player of the linebacker position, and you're getting him here in the 7th round, which is really good. Okay, really good value. So in this video, what I want to do is kind of break down exactly who he is, what he adds, and why I think this could potentially be a big pickup for the Steelers. Maybe, right? Obviously, in the 7th round, it's tough, but you sometimes find them. Also, guys, at the end of the draft, we'll be covering a lot of the picks, right? We're going to make a whole video. If you missed any of the picks, don't worry. Got you guys covered in a whole video, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so first thing you're going to notice about him, this dude gets things done, okay? Gets things done. That's one thing about him. When I watch his film, he is a dog, okay? Now, he comes from an NFL bloodline and plays stronger than his listed weight. This dude is, again, when you watch him play, you're going to see physicality. You're going to see hard work. You're going to see effort. You're going to see plays through the whistle. Despite the production, there are some things that aren't great, and that's why he's a 7th round pick, right? He doesn't have great speed. Okay, he's good athleticism, but he doesn't have top-end, high-end speed for a linebacker. He's got good speed, so it's not terrible. NFL offenses, especially in the box, it could be a little bit difficult for him to keep up with his pursuit angles. Now, what I will say, special teams, he's going to be a unit. This guy does everything. Again, effort. This guy on special teams is going to be one hell of a player for this team. Now, I don't know where he's going to fit in defensively. It might be more of a long approach, couple of years down the line before he maybe appears in the lineup, and he might not ever, okay? So keep that in mind. It's a 7th round draft pick, but he's got impressive tackle production, very rarely misses tackles. He plays with his eyes, which is good. You got to be able to read into the backfield. You got to be able to see back there and then make your read, react, and attack, transition. Reads play designs and leverages his pursuit angles. Powerful upper body to rip blocks away from his frame. Special teams ace. Again, you need special teams in the NFL. And this is a guy that's going to help out ASAP right away. Missing NFL caliber agility. Does not cut on opposing figure in the uniform. I don't know what that means. Lacking speed to play from sideline to sideline. I get that. That does make sense to me. But he's got good athleticism. That's the thing. He's a good athletic linebacker in this combine. Short on range and coverage and non-threatening as a blitzer, which means he's probably not a 3-down linebacker unless he develops a ton. So let me know what you guys think. Again, 7th round pick. You're not getting too much out of these guys, but you're getting an ace. Take it all day.